At the beginning of the story, we see a cunning thief named Morris who has been caught by the police for a bank robbery case and is being taken to the world's most secure jail, Alcatraz, for a life sentence. Alcatraz is a jail built on a small island in the middle of the sea. This means that even if a prisoner breaks out of jail, they cannot escape because the water blocks their path. That's why this jail was considered the most secure jail in the world. Only the top criminals in the world were kept here. But soon the status of this jail was about to be tarnished because now a cunning thief named Frank Morris had entered this jail, who had escaped from jail several times before. But this time Morris was a bit nervous because this jail was extremely secure. However, Morris did not want to spend his entire life here at all. He wanted to escape from this jail as soon as possible. As soon as he entered the jail, Morris started thinking about escaping. Morris is fully checked from head to toe and locked in a cell. A guard comes and says to Morris, "Welcome to Alcatraz." And this is where the real story begins. Suddenly, a bell rings and all the cell gates open automatically. Officers call the prisoners outside. The discipline of this jail is also very strict. Prisoners have to follow the rules of cleanliness and going to their cells on time. Everyone comes in line wearing the same uniform to have breakfast. In front of Morris is a prisoner named Litmus. Morris asks, "I didn't get a fork. Now how will I eat noodles?" Litmus tells him, "Hey, this isn't your home. Eat what you've got quietly." Just then, a dangerous prisoner named Wolf starts teasing Morris. Every prisoner in the jail was troubled by Wolf. He used to impose his will on every prisoner here, and there are numerous rape cases against him. This jail houses some of the most dangerous prisoners. Here, Litmus asks Morris for some food, and during this, Morris gives him his plate. When Morris looks under the table, he realizes that Litmus is not eating the food himself, but is giving it to a rat. At night, a guard takes Morris to the warden. When Morris reaches the warden's office, the warden says to Morris that he knows he is very sharp-minded and very intelligent, but what use is that here? Because many like him have come and gone, but no one has survived here. The prisoners here follow very strict rules. Someone can visit you only once every 2 months, and that too only if I'm in a good mood. The warden is a very strict person who gives very strict punishment to prisoners for even the slightest mistake. The warden says, "Don't even think about escaping from here or you'll be torn to pieces." To which Morris replies, "No sir, who can think of escaping with you around?" But in reality, from the very first day, Morris had already started planning to escape from here. During this time, Morris seizes the opportunity to steal the warden's nail cutter, which was a very small item, but Morris knew that in a jail like Alcatraz, even this small nail cutter could be used for a big task. As soon as Morris returns to the cell, he hides this nail cutter in the Bible. The next day in the bathroom, Wolf starts bothering Morris again, but this time, Morris was not going to let it go. Now Morris shows his true colors and grabs him, giving him a good beating. After beating Wolf, Morris gained a different status throughout the jail. Everyone started fearing Morris. After this, Morris is given work in the library. There, he meets a man named English. He is a senior inmate of this jail. English was also sentenced to life imprisonment for the murder of 2 men. He had spent half his life in this jail. He is familiar with every corner of this jail. He knows everything that goes on in the jail. He also knows that Morris and Wolf had a fight this morning. He gives Morris some books that Morris has to deliver to each inmate's cell. In the next scene, they show an open area where the prisoners are playing some game. That's when he meets an artist named Doc who is making his own painting. Doc is a very straightforward and decent person who has been serving his sentence here for many years. He was very fond of painting and spent most of his time on it. Doc said that in a jail like Alcatraz, anyone could go crazy, but because of his painting, his mind was still functioning normally. Morris asks Doc why he has painted this flower in the painting. "There's nothing like that on your shot." Doc says that this is my happiness, which is only in the painting, not in my mind. After that, when Morris looks to his right, he sees English above. Morris goes towards English. When Morris gets close to him, his followers stop Morris. Then English gestures that he is one of us, let him come. Morris goes and sits next to him and immediately starts talking about what's on his mind. Morris tells him that you will help me escape from here. Hearing this, English laughs. "Look, son, this is not just a jail. This is the grave for all of us. To get out of here, we must first die. Only then will our dead body be able to reach the cemetery from here. Even if you somehow manage to climb these high walls, cross the dangerous forces, and by some magical power escape the hundreds of guards and get out of the jail, you still won't be able to escape because the sea will block your way. So don't waste time and quietly serve your sentence. At least you'll stay alive." But Morris was determined in his resolve. He wanted to escape from this jail at any cost. That night, an officer tells Morris that you have been given carpentry work starting tomorrow. You will also be paid 50 cents per hour. Morris immediately agreed to this work because he thought he might find a tool there that could help him escape. The next day, Morris asks Litmus for a way to escape from here. Litmus says, "Oh, that's very easy. Each cell has an air vent through which you can reach the roof. From there, maybe you can escape." And he walks away smiling at Morris's words. Then Doc warns Morris that Wolf is coming towards him. Just then, Wolf comes to attack Morris with a knife. Morris wraps his coat around his hand and starts fighting with him. At that moment, a guard comes to stop him, so Wolf also attacks the guard with a knife. Now the situation escalates and the guard in the watchtower starts shooting. Then Morris and Wolf stop fighting. Morris didn't know that there was a guard in the watchtower. He now starts noticing every detail about this prison one by one. The guards take Morris and Wolf to D block, where prisoners are kept in the dark and tortured all night. It was a cell where no prisoner wanted to go. Before going, Wolf threatens Morris saying, "Kid, your death will be at my hands." That night, Morris has to endure various tortures, which leave him in a very bad condition. After staying in this dark cell for 2 weeks, he is brought back to his cell, where Litmus sends Morris a note with his pet rat, which says, "Welcome back, Morris." One day, a new prisoner named Charlie arrives and is placed in the cell next to Morris. Morris and Charlie quickly become friends. Morris then introduces him to his other friends. At the same time, the warden checks each prisoner's cell without informing anyone. When he goes to Doc's cell, there are many paintings made by Doc. The warden is surprised that his paintings are increasing day by day. Doc had also made a painting of the warden. Seeing it, the warden starts to smile, but for some reason, the next day the warden orders the guards to throw out all the paintings made in Doc's cell. This decision by the warden completely broke Doc from the inside because Doc was living only through his painting. He loved each of his paintings very much because it was his only happiness here, and even that was taken away from him. Morris explains to him that it's okay, it was just a painting, you can make more. But Doc couldn't get over this shock. The next day, seeing him, Morris tells the guard, "Please keep an eye on Doc. He looks very troubled. He might harm himself." Then the guard tells Morris, "Mind your own business." Doc is also given carpentry work with Morris. At that moment, Doc secretly puts something in Morris's pocket. After that, he calls a guard and cuts off 3 of his fingers with the axe given for carpentry and says that he doesn't need the fingers with which he can't paint. Saying this, he starts screaming. Then the guard takes him away. Morris sees that Doc has put the same flower in his coat with which he made his painting. Maybe he wants to tell Morris that these people have taken away his happiness. Morris picks up Doc's severed fingers, puts them in a box, and looking at the guard says, "Go give it to your warden. He will be very happy to see this." The next day, Morris is sitting in his cell. Then he sees a cockroach going into the air vent, which gives him the idea that there must be a way out from there. Just then, English comes and tells him that Doc cut off his own fingers because his permission to paint was revoked. That's why, out of frustration, he cut off his fingers. Knowing this makes Morris very angry. The next day in the dining hall, the warden asks Morris why he is supporting this Doc so much. He says, "It's nothing like that." Saying this, Morris goes back and sits at the table. There he meets 2 brothers, John and Clarence. But Morris talks to them as if he already knows them. John and Clarence were actually part of Morris's gang in another prison. John now found the task of escaping from prison easier because these 2 brothers were sharp-minded like Morris, and now the 3 of them started planning to escape from prison. In the afternoon, Charlie's girlfriend comes to meet him. On the other side, English's daughter comes to meet him. As soon as English sees his daughter, tears come to his eyes because his daughter had grown up a lot in his absence, and English regretted not being able to see his daughter's childhood. On the other side, Charlie's wife tells him that his mother is very sick, and the doctor says she won't survive more than a month or 2. In hearing this, Charlie also starts thinking about escaping from Alcatraz, and just then the guard comes and says that the visiting time is over. Now Charlie is very troubled. That night, he tells Morris that if you make a plan to escape from here, include me as well. The next day, Morris, Charlie, John, and Clarence have a meeting. Then Morris tells them that every cell's air vent opens onto the roof, and secondly, this place is in the middle of a saltwater-filled sea, which has weakened the walls. I have a nail cutter, and I have already started digging. If I dig little by little and make a small tunnel to reach the roof, after checking this place, it will be clear how to escape from here. John asks, "Won't the guards get suspicious if they find out at night that you are not in your cell?" At that moment, Clarence says that I have a solution to this problem. He says that there is a barber I know here who cuts the prisoner's hair. He can supply us with hair, and using it, we can make a dummy head and place it on the bed. After which, even if we get out through the wall tunnel and reach the roof, the guards won't be suspicious because there will be dummy heads on our cell beds. But the issue still remains that even if we get out of the jail, how will we cross the seawater? Morris says to John, "Look, I will need your help with this. You work in the closing department. There you will find raincoats made for those police officers, so steal some raincoats and give them to me. We can make a tube boat and life jacket from them to cross the sea." Here Charlie says, "Brother, give me some work too. I also want to help you guys." Morris tells Charlie that when I dig the ventilation grill, you keep watch so that no guard sees us, and when you dig, I will keep watch. Everyone likes Morris's plan, and they start working on it that very night. But the nail cutter was too small for digging the wall, which required a lot of effort from Morris, and he was having a lot of difficulty digging the wall. He even got injured on his hand, but he slowly starts digging that hole. The next day at the dining table, he tells his friends that he needs a bigger tool for digging. Digging the wall with a nail cutter is very difficult. Just then, Morris looked at the spoon in his hand and got an idea. He deliberately rubbed the spoon on his shoe to make it dirty. After that, Morris called the guard and said that this spoon is dirty, give me another spoon. The rest of the people also requested the guard to change their spoons. The guard didn't find anything suspicious in this and immediately allowed the spoons to be changed. After that, he heads straight to the table where another security guard is seated. But as soon as he starts changing the spoons on the table, John distracts the guard present there with conversation. Taking advantage of the situation, Morris picked up 2 spoons instead of 1 and hid one in his pocket. After that, he went straight to his cell. At night, when English came to give him a book, Morris asked if there was any welding equipment available here. English understood that Morris was still obsessed with escaping from jail. He says that I have already told you before that your attempt will be in vain because you will get caught and might even lose your life. In all these years, the thought of escaping never occurred to me because I know it is impossible. But if you are stubborn, what can I do? Go ahead and try. But Morris is not affected by his warning. The next day, he asks Litmus for matches and says that if you help me, I will give your rat my share of food every day. Litmus happily agrees to this deal because Litmus really liked the rat. That same night, Litmus passes his matches to Morris. Morris removes one handle of the nail cutter with which he is going to make a small shovel. Then he breaks the spoon and attaches it to the nail cutter's handle. Then by lighting the matches, he welds them together well to prepare a sharp tool. And then he starts digging around the vent. Charlie keeps watch. If any guard comes that way, he will immediately whistle to signal Morris. But while keeping watch, Charlie falls asleep and just then a guard arrives. Fortunately, at the last moment, English intervenes and distracts the guard. And listening to English's conversation, Charlie also wakes up. But in tension, he can't even whistle, after which he drops something and Morris understands his signal, covers the vent and lies on the bed. The guard asks if there's a burning smell here. Morris says, "Sir, as long as you're here, no one would dare to smoke. I don't smell anything." The guard feels comforted that at least someone respects him. As soon as he leaves, Morris removes the concrete around the vent. But he sees that screws have also been inserted with the ventilation grill, which will require a sharp tool to cut during this time. Whenever Morris gets a chance to go outside, he quietly drops the cement that has come out of the grill. The next day, while doing carpentry work, he picks up a piece of metal that is sharp like a knife. But Charlie tells him, "How will you take it out avoiding the metal detector?" Morris confidently says that he will handle it. When Morris goes out, the metal detector starts beeping at the door. Actually, Morris had brought the metal in his hand. The guard asks why he is taking it. Morris says, "Sir, I thought I would use it to hang clothes." The guard says, "Don't act too smart and give it to me." Saying this, the guard takes the metal from him and lets Morris go after a full check. But our hero is indeed a hero. In fact, he had stolen 2 metals. He had brought one in his hand and had hidden the other in his shoes. With that sharp metal, he cuts the grill. Now it's time to trick the guards by making a fake head, for which these 4 take on their responsibilities. Charlie asks the guard for some paint. He tells the guard that he has a passion for making art. The guard doesn't refuse and brings him the paint. Morris grinds the concrete removed from that hole into a powder. John collects hair from the barber shop, and Clarence gathers old books from the library. After gathering all the materials, Morris starts making a dummy head using water and old magazines. By applying paint and fake hair, he creates a fake head that looks completely real. Additionally, Morris made fake cardboard to strengthen his plan so that no one would suspect that a tunnel has been made in the front wall. One night, Morris decided to go up alone. For this, he placed his crafted fake skull on the bed and covered it with a blanket up to the neck. After that, he takes the fake cardboard and comes out of the tunnel. There, Morris grabs the pipes and slowly climbs up to the roof. On the other side, Charlie is keeping watch outside. After reaching the roof, Morris sees that there is an iron grill above, which he cannot reach even by jumping. Meanwhile, a guard comes and asks Charlie why he is painting so late at night and why his friend Morris went to sleep so early today. Charlie says, "Yes, sir. Today Morris got tired doing carpentry work, so he went to sleep early." Suddenly, the guard's stick falls from his hand. While picking it up, he notices that Morris's hair looks very strange. Now Charlie starts trembling with fear, thinking they're in trouble today. The guard reaches inside Morris's cell and touches his hair, and Morris asks, "What happened, sir? Are my hair so beautiful?" Luckily, at the last moment, Morris came down and lay there. The next day, Morris tells his companions that there is a way on the roof, but it is tied with a grill and that grill is very high up. I need the help of another companion. Then John says that he has completely dug his vent. "Tonight I will also reach there. Together we will open the grill." That night, Morris and John reach the roof through their vents. John leaves Morris and Morris grabs the grill. John sees that this iron grill is very strong and completely welded. The only way to remove it is to cut it with a drill machine. The next day in music class, everyone is playing their chosen instrument. Then Morris notices a small fan placed there. Seeing it, Morris thinks he can work on it to make a drill machine. For this, he tells Charlie to somehow hide this fan from here. Charlie easily hides the small fan in his instrument box. When Charlie comes out, the guards check his instrument box, but they don't see the fan and let Charlie go. As soon as Morris gets the fan, he starts working on it. And after several hours, Morris makes a drill machine from the fan. That night, Morris and Charlie climb onto the roof and start cutting the iron rod with the drill machine. The sound of the drill machine was quite loud, which makes the guards start coming up after hearing the drilling noise. But by then, Morris cuts a rod of the grill and the drilling noise stops. After the drilling noise stops, the guard ignores it and goes back. Now, all four of them had opened all their escape routes, after which they were going to escape from the world's most secure jail, Alcatraz, on Tuesday night. No one had ever escaped from there until now. The next day, they have another meeting, and it's also in the movie hall where everyone is watching a movie. Amidst the movie sound, Morris asks John and Clarence if their vent is ready and what happened with those raincoats from which we were going to make tube boats and life jackets. They say everything is ready. Our dummy head is also completely ready, just waiting for the escape. The next morning during breakfast, Morris placed the flower given by the dog on the table. When the warden saw this flower, he came to their table and crushed the flower placed there. Seeing this, Litmus became very angry because this flower was the dog's favorite and the dog had died. Litmus, in anger, attacks him saying that not only did you kill the dog, but you are also not leaving even a small token given by it. But as soon as he attacks the warden, he suddenly has a heart attack and falls down. Morris gets very angry at the warden, and the four decide to escape that very night. Morris is waiting for midnight so that the guard's watch becomes a bit weaker and they can easily escape. Just then, English gives him some books in Morris's cell, and Morris says he wants to shake hands with him one last time. English understands that Morris has made a firm plan to escape from here. He quietly leaves, but then what happens is something Morris had not thought of at all. The warden suddenly comes to check his cell, as if someone had informed the warden about his plan. Morris becomes very anxious because after so many months of effort, it was all about to go to waste. The warden ordered every corner of Morris's cell to be checked. The guard checks every single thing in Morris's cell, but Morris was not an ordinary prisoner who made a small plan. Rather, he made a very clear and perfect plan. Not even the warden, let alone the warden's grandfather, could catch it. Even when the guard specifically moved the suitcase from the place where Morris had made a tunnel to escape, Morris was not caught there either, because he had already made a fake cardboard and fit it very precisely into the wall. When nothing is found there, the warden and guard leave. But the guard says that Morris and Charlie talk all night. I feel something is fishy. The warden says, okay, change Morris's cell tomorrow so they won't be together and won't be able to talk. The next day at breakfast, Wolf threatens Morris again and tells him that tonight will be his last night. Morris tells his companions that this donkey is right. Tonight will be my last night here, but in the afternoon, Wolf goes to attack Morris with a knife. Just then, English intervenes and catches Wolf. Actually, English also wants to help Morris. Whether successful or not, English wants to assist in Morris's work. That night, Morris, John, Clarence, and Charlie decide to escape through their respective vent paths and meet on the roof. Here, Charlie agrees to escape with his companions. But then, as soon as he reaches the cell, he starts feeling anxious. Sitting alone in the cell, he decides not to be part of the plan, and his other three companions make their way through their respective vents to reach the roof. The three of them wait for Charlie for quite a while, but after a lot of time passes and they feel that Charlie won't come, they decide to leave without him. The three of them start moving forward according to their plan. Meanwhile, in front of Charlie's eyes, the dream of his freedom was slipping away. The three of them slowly began to escape, hiding from the searchlight. In this way, they sneak to the end of the building. Meanwhile, Charlie, sitting in the cell, feels a surge of excitement and decides to escape too. He makes his way through the vent and reaches the roof. But it was too late because he couldn't reach the door above by himself. That means he lost his chance for freedom due to fear. On the other hand, the three of them hang from the pipe on the roof and come down to the ground, avoiding the eyes of the security guard in the tower. They reach the last wall of the jail and then, one by one, climb over the fence wall and escape from the jail. Now, all three of them quickly ran to the seashore. Then they took out the raincoats and started inflating them by blowing air through their mouths. It was taking them a lot of time to fill it with their mouths, but they had no other option. So, all three of them put in all their effort and somehow managed to inflate the two boats made from raincoats and finally put the boat in the water. In this way, the three of them escape, tarnishing the reputation of Alcatraz. The next morning, a guard is checking every cell. Initially, everything seems normal to the guard, but when he reaches Charlie, Charlie is standing in his cell like a ghost, internally berating himself that if only he had gathered a bit of courage last night, he might have escaped with the others. The guard asks why his friend is sleeping for so long. Saying this, he goes to Morris's cell and calls out to him, but there is no response from Morris, so the guard gets angry and opens the cell, trying to pull him up by the hair. But when the guard pulls hard upwards, the head falls down. Seeing this, the ground slips from under the guard's feet, because Morris is no longer in the cell but enjoying the outside world. He had left his dummy head on the bed. After which, sirens start blaring throughout Alcatraz. The news spread across the jail that some prisoners have escaped. After that, the warden starts searching every corner of the jail for those three. When the three are not found inside the jail, the warden conducts a search operation in the sea. The warden cannot believe that all three escaped. He thinks that they must have died in the water, but deep down, the warden knew that all three were very strong. Those three must be breathing the air of freedom after crossing the seawater. The officers at the headquarters are questioning the warden. Were you asleep when those three escaped? The warden is very tense, but then he finds the dog's favorite flower there. This meant that Morris also wanted to take revenge on the warden's dog. Then the head of the search team comes and informs, "Sir, the search has been conducted everywhere, but their bodies were not found." Now, to save his job and his own image, the warden tells him, "Write the report as I say. Write that the three tried to escape, but all three drowned in the water." However, no one believed Walton's statement. After this, Morris became famous worldwide as a genius for breaking out of Alcatraz jail. 1 year after this incident, Alcatraz jail was closed because there was no guarantee that no one could escape from there. This is how the film based on a true story ends. If you liked the video, please subscribe to our channel and like the video.